All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good day. Welcome to another edition of Health Talk with Mutiat. Sorry, I just found this music yesterday and I have had it on repeat all day. It's such an interesting music. I think it's Yaya and Willow. So it's like a very beat. I love to dance, so it's something I'm going to be playing a lot. All right. Good day, good afternoon. Oh, oopsie. Good evening. Good day. My name is Mutiat Sunshine, and I am coming to you live on my Health Talk with Mutiat video. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everybody. Thank you for watching my video and, sharing it and all that. I really do appreciate it. God bless us all. Before I get started, I normally have a little spiel that I go through that this is not this is a disclaimer that I put out there that this is not the end all be all. This is not a substitute for your doctor's care. You should still follow up with the doctor. Hello, Miss Olamide. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is not a substitute for your doctor's care. You should still follow up with your doctor. This is definitely not a substitute for your doctor's care. All right. So we are today going to be talking about DVT and pulmonary embolism. The reasons I chose this topic, one, I made a video on Monday and oh Lord Jesus, I made a video on Monday and I dropped the word DVT and pulmonary embolisms, and I'm sure people don't know what that means, or I just wanted to explain that better so we can know. And also, it's traveling season, it's holiday season. A lot of people are traveling. A lot of people are going to be traveling, and one of the biggest causes of death in this season is pulmonary embolism. And I need us to be safe. I need us to enjoy our vacations and be safe. So that's why we're talking about DVT and pulmonary embolisms. All right. So DVT, it means deep. Oh, please, people, please stop sending me messages while I'm live. I can't see. I apologize. All right. So DVT means deep vein thrombosis. All right. And PE, you hear us use PE a lot. It means pulmonary. You hear me use PE a lot. It means pulmonary embolisms. All right. So a DVT is when blood clot. It's a very serious condition. All right. That when a blood clots in a vein in your body. Most places that happens, it's your legs. It happens in your leg because you have some veins in your leg, and when you sit, you realize when you sit, like, it's dependent. Everything flows to your leg. If you're not moving, you don't stir blood around. It becomes solid. Oh, lots of messages. It becomes solid. It becomes. Good morning, Miss Matt. Good morning, Miss Monica from Belgium. Thank you for joining me. It becomes solid, and if there's nothing moving it congeals. So when you talk about blood, I want you to do something. I want you to think about Ogi, pap. All right, think about Ogi. So the blood is almost the same consistency, not the same, but almost in this way. That's the easiest way I can explain it to you. It's when we buy Ogi and we put it in a container, if we don't move it, hello, Miss Ronnie, if we don't move the Ogi, the Ogi just seals, just like kind of relaxes. It relaxes. And what happens is, the water is on top and the Ogi itself is on the bottom. And if you don't move the Ogi for a while, what happens? It becomes solid. Thank you, Miss Isioma, for joining us. It becomes solid. And that is what happens when you have a blood clot. If you're not moving, especially your legs, if you're not moving your legs for a long period of time, if you're either standing for a long time or sitting for a long time, you can develop a clot. So a DVT, a deep vein thrombosis, just as it says, it's a vein, it's a clot that forms in a vein, in a vein in your body. Now, the most common places that happens is your legs and on your arms. Your arms, I'm talking about this part, and your legs, we're talking about your legs down, your feet, your thighs down. All right. So, who is at risk for DVT? Who is at risk? A person, most generally, people that get it are over 50, but do not be fooled. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. A person that can have DVT is somebody that's sitting for a long period of time, that's standing for a long period of time. If you have a family history of clots or thickened blood, If you have a family history of blood or thickened blood, you are at risk. If you've ever had a catheter placed in your veins, those that for the people in the hospital, you are at risk. And if you're taking any birth controls, one of the side effects of birth control is thickens your blood. So if you're taking birth control, it will thicken your blood to the point that if you're staying still for a long period of time, you are very, very prone to having blood clots. All right. If you smoke, I've done these videos how many times now, and out of that many times, my biggest thing is if you smoke, please stop smoking. It is not good for you. Anyone that watches this video will tell you that cigarette smoking is a vasoconstrictor. It narrows your veins. You don't want that happening. All right? You do not want that. Smoking is not good for you in any aspect, in any part. It is not good for you. All right? And I've been saying it. One of the biggest risks is if you stay seated for a long time or if you keep standing for a long time. All right? So let's review the risk again. The risk is if you're standing and sitting for a long time, if you have a family history of DVT or blood or thickened blood, if you're taking birth control or actually going through any hormonal therapy, if you're a lady of a certain age and you're going through menopause, you're having what we call HRT, hormone replacement therapy, you are prone to having a DVT. All right. And oh yes, another thing, if you're overweight like me, I'm working on it, I promise you. If you're overweight, you have a high chance of having DVT, because what happens is that your weight actually puts pressure on your veins. All right, especially the veins around your hips, your thighs, your pelvis. And remember, where I said DVT happens a lot is on your legs. So if you're overweight like me, you have big hips, you have big butt, yeah, like me, we are very prone to having DVTs. All right. Also, if you have damages to your veins, like if you have damages to your vein, you are prone to having a DVT. All right. So yeah, that's the risk factors. So if you're just joining us, when this video is over, you may go back and rewatch the beginning to see what you've missed. I try to keep this video short, under 30 minutes, so my people in Nigeria can watch it. Hello, Miss Janet. Thank you for joining me. All right, so my people in Nigeria can watch it. All right. The biggest risk for DVTs is pregnancy. Remember the video I did on Monday that I said a person that's pregnant, when you need to fly, you need to let somebody know, you need to let a doctor know. You just can't up and go. You can't up and go and get up and go, because one, because you're pregnant. Pregnancy kind of like puts pressure on your veins and your blood thickens. Remember, you're not sharing you're not the only one using your blood. It is circulating for two people. Think about that. It's being spread thin. It puts a lot of pressure on you. Pregnant women have like the blood, we call it thick, high viscosity, very thick blood. All right. And now think, you have high blood. You have thickened blood, and now you're going to go on a plane where you're going to be sitting for a long time. All right. That again, you have thickened blood. You're going to be sitting for a long time. There's very, very high chance of forming a DVT, a blood clot. All right. Are we understanding me? Am I making sense so far? If you don't understand anything I say, please just write something and I can read and I'll respond as quickly as I can. If I'm not making sense, please let me know. All right. Now that we've talked about the risk factor. Hello, Miss Joy. Now we'll talk about risk factors of having DVTs. Now let's talk about signs and symptoms. All right. Signs and symptoms, okay, is swelling of the foot. That's the first thing most people see. You see one foot is more swollen than the other foot. All right. Another thing that happens is pain. Pain, especially at the back of your leg, That when you with dorsiflex, when you bring your legs up like this, you feel the pain back there. It's called Homan sign. Now, several researches have been done nowadays that they're saying Homan sign, which is when you pull your leg back and you feel pain at the back of your leg, is not an indicator of DVT. But I'm a very conservative practitioner, that if I see that and the swelling of the leg, I will probably have them, we'll talk about getting the ultrasound just to make sure there's no clots on your leg. Like I said, swelling, we'll talk about pain, cramping. Some people have cramping, of the leg. All right. When you have a DVT, when you have a clot in one leg, you will have pain, severe pain. You will have swelling of the leg. You will have cramping on the leg. Also, that leg that has a clot in it is warmer than the other one. Trust me, you will know that it's warmer than the other. It's like hot, very, very hot. That is indicating, it's an indication of DVT. All right. And for Caucasian people, mostly not African American, black people, Nigerian people, we don't see the discoloration of our legs. But some people, it's if you're light skinned, you will see there's a discoloration of your legs. All right. That leg that has a DVT, that has a clot in it, will be discolored, like bluish tint. It will have a bluish tint, like, you know, when blood is not flowing to something, how it looks like, you know, if you depress your hand for a little while and you see it turns like bluish, that it's not having blood, that's, you may see a sign of that. So let's recap again. The signs and symptoms of a DVT is swelling of the foot, pain in the leg, cramping in the leg, warmth in the leg, and the area of where the leg that has the clot will be discolored. So that's what that is. That is DVT. That's the signs and symptoms. So keep that at the back of your mind. Please remember this. All right. Now that we have it, how do we diagnose the DVT? When you go to a doctor with any signs like that of one leg or both legs, it rarely happens in both legs. Most likely it will happen on one leg. If you go to a doctor with a sign, with all those signs, a doctor will probably order what we call an ultrasound. It's called a Doppler. If you've ever been pregnant, you know what a Doppler looks like. It's like ultrasound of your stomach, but this time it's going to be ultrasound. Hi, Miss Lasso. Hi, Miss Isioma. Thank you for joining us. Now, if they're going to do an ultrasound of that area, and if there's a clot there, it will show. You will know. All right? So that's how it's diagnosed. The definitive diagnosis of a DVT is an ultrasound. An ultrasound has to be done. Please stop sending me message. I apologize. I can't respond to them on live. When I come off live, I will respond to inboxes. All right. So that's that. That's the treatment. That's the diagnosis. For you to know you have for sure back you have a DVT, you want to have a Doppler done, an ultrasound done. All right. Now that we know if you have a DVT, all right, what is the treatment? Normally, I don't like to talk about treatment, but at the same point, I like people to know what you should be expecting if you have a DVT. The treatment, the goal of the treatment, okay, for DVT is to keep that clot from growing bigger, all right? It's to keep it from growing bigger and to prevent you from progressing to what we call a pulmonary embolism, all right? So what they normally do is they give you anticoagulants. Anticoagulants are medications that make your blood thinner. All right. So depending on how big the clot is, some doctors can either give you like some pulse that will break it off, or they will give you medication that will thin your blood enough that you will not form another clot. It won't get bigger. All right. So medications that they normally will put you on is called heparin. They put you on Lovenox. If it's not big enough, they'll probably put you on Lovenox as a shot, an injection that you will give yourself, or they will put you on Coumadin. All right, those are the medications. Three first medications they'll put you on: the heparin, Lovenox, and it's enoxaparin, Lovenox, and they will put you either on warfarin. Not all three at the same time. Not all three. They'll probably start you with heparin first, and they'll bridge you. It's called a bridge for a couple of days until you get onto Coumadin, because Coumadin is a tablet. Unless you're like giving yourself a shot. Hey, me, I don't. I'm a chicken. I don't do well with like giving myself noodles. So that's absolutely no. All right. So one thing I want to clarify, I want to say is, if you ever put on Coumadin, all right, one thing I want to say is the food you eat. Coumadin is one medication that you need to be careful with what you eat. Now, if you're on Coumadin, you want to stay away from foods that have vitamin K, because vitamin K thickens your blood. Are you listening? Are we understanding? Am I making sense? Please let me know if I'm making sense. Vitamin K thickens your blood. Food that have vitamin K, spinach, F4, has a lot of vitamin K. So when you're ever on Coumadin, a blood thinner, please, or any kind of blood thinner, please do not eat a lot of F4. Do not eat a lot of spinach. Any green leafy vegetables, you want to stay away from it. Anything that has vitamin K, you want to stay away from it. All right? Am I making sense? Cool. So, all right. So, now, how do you prevent yourself? How do you protect yourself from having a DVT? All right. Number one, like I said, it's traveling season. If you're ever going to get on a plane to travel, one thing I want you to buy, it's a socks. It's called, yes, Miss Janet, vitamin K. Will F4 will mess with the comedin, and you'll be thinking you will think your blood is thin, but it's getting thickened back. So you need to be very, very careful. The doctors will have you come in to do routine blood work just to make sure you're at a level. And the blood work they're going to be drawing, it's called an INR. All right. If you have a blood clot, they want your INR between, I think, 2 and 3, between 2 and 4, depending on who your doctor is, but between 2 and 3, just to be on the safe side. Definitely between 2 and 3. That's it. Exactly. When you're going to travel, you have to put on the socks. It's called compression stockings. It is not the socks that you buy at $50 and I get gay. No, that's not the socks. It's not a regular socks. It's just not any socks. It is called a compression stocking. What it does is it compresses your veins. So the blood that's going while you're sitting will be forced, to imagine, think of like you have a pipe, like a rubber, all right? And stuff is going through it and it's just going down. But if you compress it, it's going to, come back up. It's going to make sure it comes back up. So that's the job of compression stocking. All right. So if you're going to travel, if you're going to be on a long distance, either by plane, either by a young sharp grow bus, yes, forever all my people that are going to the east, I know it's east, yes. And for Americans or people in the first world country in Europe, you can order it online. You can order it on Amazon. You can order it. It's quite expensive, but trust me, it's an investment. I do travel a lot, and every time I travel, even my mother laughs at me. I'm like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. My socks, this is the reason why I wear it. And now she's like, Muti, can you send me that socks? So you want to wear that socks. All right, it's called a compression stockings. Other people might call it a TED, TED stockings. So a TED stockings or compression stocking, you must wear that. All right. Some science have shown that if you take aspirin, a baby aspirin 81 milligrams, one tablet before you get on the plane, or long distance. I'm not talking like from Lagos to Shagam transit. That's not long distance. I'm not talking Lagos to Ibadan. That's 1 hour. Okay, if you're in traffic, then that could be like 5 hours. But move around. But if I'm talking long distance, like from Lagos to Abuja by road, Lagos to Enugu by road, Lagos to the east by road, by the north by road, yes, you want to make sure you have the TED stockings and aspirin, baby aspirin, 81 milligrams. One tablet, no, I didn't ask you to take the whole tablet, though. I am here telling you one tablet. Take it before you get on your journey, and that should help thin your blood. All right? Am I making sense? Are we understanding? All right. So, and also, if once you have a clot, depending on the risk factors that you have, your doctor will sit down and look at you. They may not keep you on an anticoagulant for long, a blood thinner. They might do something called a filter. Like they'll go in through your groin and they'll put like it's assay, for lack of a better word, is assay. I said that it's that guards the veins that take blood towards your heart. So that when the clot is coming, when it reaches to that assay, it bounces back. It doesn't go towards your heart, towards your brain. It doesn't do that. All right. Now, the major complications, reason we do that, major complications of DVT is it's breaking loose. You do not want it to break loose. You do not want it to break loose at all, because once it breaks loose, there's nothing holding it back unless you have a filter that can bounce it back down. If you do not have a filter, the blood will flow. It will flow. It can go to your heart, cause a heart attack. It cause ischemia, which can be a heart attack. It can flow, can go to your lung, disturb your breathing. That's called a pulmonary embolism. It can go through the veins and your arteries that are here, go to your brain. That is a stroke, ischemic stroke. Anything that blocks blood flow to any organ is killing it. So if you block to your heart, it causes a heart attack. It goes to your lungs, it causes pulmonary embolism, and it goes to your brain, it causes a stroke. Now you see, from one little clot, see what damage it can do for your body. So that's why you want to be careful to prevent yourself from forming a blood clot. Cool? All right. Now, I was going to say something that it went away from my head. Signs and symptoms of pulmonary embolism, which is one of the biggest things. You've heard people get on the plane, come off the plane, and just all of a sudden. You've heard people come on the plane, get off the plane, and die. Most likely, they had a pulmonary embolism. Goldie. I know you guys know Goldie. Remember, Goldie came from Los Angeles to Nigeria. Los Angeles to pretty much any part of the United States is 6 hours. Now add another 12, 13, 14 hours to Lagos. That's about almost 20, 24 hours in the air, cooped up, sitting without a TED stocking. Maybe she has some form of bleeding, like a clotting disease. And on top of that, she just gets up. She probably shot a pulmonary embolism. That's what for me, when I heard, the first thing I said is she had a pulmonary embolism. Short and quick. Pulmonary embolism happened quickly. There's no, if you're lucky enough to catch it on time, God bless you. And they can quickly, you remember Goldie, yes. They can quickly give you blood thinner, dissolve the clot instantly, and you can go back to breathing. However, if it's not caught on time, you can die. Like there's no tomorrow, die. And those are the ones they'll say, Ajele Konshe, they called them. No, Ajele Oshe, you shot a pulmonary embolism. Another celebrity that had died of a pulmonary embolism, Heavy D. Heavy D, remember Heavy D? Now that we found love, what are we get? If you're not a 90s baby, you don't know this song, sorry. I won't tell you my age. But yeah, that Heavy D, yes. He died from a pulmonary embolism, a DVT from pulmonary embolism. So all of a sudden, you remember he was young, because all of a sudden, boom, person died. All right? So signs and symptoms of pulmonary embolism. Number 1, difficulty breathing. I know, Miss Ronnie, stop laughing at me. I'm a young kid, I beg, seriously. Difficulty breathing. If you cannot breathe, go to the hospital. Chest pain, and I'm not talking chest pain like no, I'm talking chest pain, like intense chest pain that you can't breathe with, like you'll be sweating, like when you have so much pain that you are sweating, that's another sign. Chest pain, difficulty breathing, sweating, dizziness, or yunkoe, all these things are happening together. You're coughing off blood. Please, at anything, if you see blood, if you're coughing up blood, my brother, my sister, my auntie, my uncle, I'm begging you, go to the nearest hospital. Find a nice practitioner, find a nice doctor that you trust, and go to their clinic. And tell them, I am coughing blood though. If a doctor does not do anything for you, I beg, carry your bag, go find another doctor. Quick, because this is a matter of emergency. A matter of emergency. All right? So, those are the signs and symptoms of a pulmonary embolism, which is when the clot leaves your legs or leaves wherever the clot is and goes to your lungs, because it will block the airway. And if you don't have the airway, you can't breathe. If you can't breathe, Abby, we understand what that means. If you can't breathe, you die. All right? And I think that's about all I have to say about DVTs and pulmonary embolism. I try to keep it short, 25 minutes, perfect. That I don't want it to burn people's data. If you have any questions, please, I'm always available. Please contact me, reach out to me via inboxes, and I will respond to you as soon as I see the message. I'm quite very good with responding. I think that's about it. If you have any questions, please contact me. Again, this is not, I repeat, this is not a substitute for your doctor's care. You do need to go see a doctor. If anything I say here resonates with what's going on with you, unfortunately, I cannot diagnose you from over the phone. I cannot diagnose you from over the Facebook. You need to find a doctor, because that's what I'm going to tell you. Go directly to find a doctor. You need a trusted doctor that you know. Trusted doctor. And please verify that these doctors and nurses that you're going to see went to medical and nursing school, and they're capable, and they're capable of taking care of you, because there's so much fake doctors, fake nurses out there. I am a healthcare professional, and I unfortunately, Nigeria is so unregulated, so we're not sure, we can't. But please find yourself a trusted doctor and do go see your doctor. Always go for preventative care, and all these things that I'm talking about is because I don't want you to have all those illnesses. This is why I talk about it, so you have an idea of what's going on in your body. Always, you're responsible for your own body. You only have one body. You're not a snake. You don't get to shed the skin and get another one. If that was it, I want a size 0. I want like a lepashandi fine. But unfortunately, I don't get that choice. This is the only one I have. So I will do my best to take care of it. All right? Remember, health is wealth. You only get one life to live. You only get one life, one body. If you screw it up, that's the end of it. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for letting me come talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing my videos. I greatly appreciate it. Miss Ade, it's true now. We are. I will take a look Bashandi body, but unfortunately, I can't. I don't have the opportunity. But thank you so much for letting me come to your homes, letting me come to your phones and spending the data to listen to me. I really appreciate it. Trust me, I do not take it for granted. I'm really, really humbled, and I thank you guys for everything. Thank you so much, and do have a great day. Stay healthy. Health is wealth. Mutiat Sunshine, signing out.